Greetings, YouTube. Big Terry here once again with Golden Oaks Quail Hatchery. And today we are starting a new incubation cycle of our quail eggs. So if that's something that interests you, stay tuned. Now today is Sunday, August 2nd, 2026. And here is our third cycle of quail incubation eggs. We have a total of 30 that we're going to set in our incubator today. And these 30 came from my original covey, my original flock of birds, the OGs as I call them. And they are totally all from my babies. So hopefully we'll have a very high hatch rate. Fingers crossed. Hopefully all of these eggs have been fertilized and will hatch out to be nice little chicks. So once again, we are going to set these eggs in the incubator and make sure that they come up to temperature, which our goal is to maintain 99.5 degrees thereabouts and about 50 to 55% humidity. So once again, we're going to set these eggs in our egg turner and get them started. So let's do that right now. So here we have our 30 eggs set in the egg turners, ready to begin the incubation cycle. But before we do that, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm implementing a new record-keeping strategy. I have my OG hens split up into two different cages, my orange cage marked with the O and a yellow cage marked with a Y. And I've decided to start tracking which eggs came from which pen to better gauge and record the fertility of each cage and see which cage also produces the most hatchlings. Now, my orange cage has 3 hens in it, and my yellow cage has 2 hens in it currently, but that's just the way that things have been divided up. Once we have more hens, hopefully I'll be able to split them evenly between the 4 adult cages that I have, my breeder cages, and hopefully we'll be producing more eggs at that point, as well as incubating more eggs. But that is going to be our new strategy going forward. Now, I didn't think about it early enough to mark all these eggs with an O or Y, but some of them, as you can see here, have been marked. So going forward, that we will be tracking each hatching cycle with seeing which cages produce the most fertile eggs and which cage produces the most hatchlings. Now, let's get this process started. We're going to get these eggs up to temperature and get that cycle 3 started. And once again, we'll be back on day 15 to candle and see how many eggs have developed and be ready to be put into lockdown for hatching. So we'll see you guys in 15 days. Stay tuned. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Sunday, August 16th, 2026. And today is day 15 of our third hatching cycle. And it is time once again to candle and lock down our developed eggs for hatching. So let's do that right now. Now, as a reminder, we set 30 eggs in this hatching cycle into our incubator. So we're going to see how many are actually developed. Once again, we are using our Incubate candler, not sponsored, link in the description if you would like to purchase one, to candle our eggs, as the egg candler that is included on our Plumie incubator isn't the greatest. So we're using a secondary candler. We are also have been using our Govee as a secondary source for more accurate temperature and humidity readings. This time I did set it a little bit higher, as I've noticed that the incubator's temperature was a little unsteady this time around for whatever reason. So I did set it at a bit higher temperature this time around. But let's see how many eggs we have ready to go into lockdown. Now, for our third hatching cycle, we had 4 that didn't show signs of development or stopped at some point during development, and 26 that did show signs of development, some more than others, admittedly, but these ones looked better out of the ones that showed development, so we're going to keep those for lockdown. So based on that, we have 86% development rate out of this cycle. So we're going to see how many of those 26 actually hatch, which will give us our hatch rate for this cycle. Now, as a reminder, when we candle, we look for the air sac line on the fat side of the egg, so that is a clearly developed egg. Whereas when we have an undeveloped egg, or this one in the case did show signs of development initially, but it stopped at some point. Whereas the others, see how they're like more see-through. That means that they were unfertilized or did not develop. So that is what we have for going for today. So we have 26 eggs going into lockdown for hatching. And once again, we are using our shower mat for extra traction, which seemed to work very well last time, as we had no chicks that developed splayed legs from the last batch. So we're going to use that again. And now it's time to lock down these eggs and bump up the humidity to 60 to 70%. And hopefully we'll start hatching in the next few days. We'll be back. Good day, everyone. It is Tuesday, August 18th, 2026, day 17 of our third hatching cycle. And we have our first early bird. Yeah, our first chick of the third hatch has been born. Looking very good. Moving around. It seems like every hatching cycle we have at least one that pops out a day early. They usually don't start hatching till day 18. But maybe it's the temperature settings or whatnot. It makes them come out a little early, but we don't mind as long as they come out healthy. So, seeing as this is day 17 and this is the first one, we may get a couple more to pop today, but I'm really expecting them to start hatching tomorrow on day 18. But so far, got 1 out of 26 that have hatched. And it kicked its egg way over here. Almost like it almost knew to discard it. And I swear this never gets old for me, the hatching process. So we're gonna give, today starts at the 72-hour clock, 3-day clock. And 3 days, once the eggs have hatched, or hopefully the majority have hatched by that time, then they'll be moved into the brooder, which means that it's time for our brooder chick teenagers to graduate to the grow-out pen in 2 to 3 more days. So stay tuned, guys. Once again, very exciting times for Golden Oaks Quail Hatchery. Trying to get our production numbers up to produce more eggs for our egg customers, as well as get to the point where we are processing for meat. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. So I wanted to show you guys the progress we made on our Growout cage, which is almost at completion. Thankfully, knock on wood, since I've completed the second tier, I haven't lost any more birds to predation. And as you can see, they are clearly enjoying their sandbox area here on the second tier. Yeah, I just put a little Rubbermaid tote in there to put some play sand in there with a higher wall, so keep more of the sand inside. And then I just sift it on a weekly basis when I clean the cages out. But you can see that our breeding pairs are doing quite well in their new setups. And this particular side of the cage has the smaller sandbox, which is a little, it's good for two birds. Possibly I like to see them cuddled up in there together more closely. But if I do add more birds, I may get a second tub just like the other side to put on this side for a bigger sandbox area. But as you can see, they really enjoy their sand baths. So the bottom tier here I kept as a full size growout pen, one pen, and this is where our teenagers will grow and join our other teens until they are at egg laying or breeding age. In that case, they'll be divided up into the other cages here. On the top layer, I have decided to make 3 special breeder cages, red, white, and blue. I'm a patriot after all. And these 3 top cages were going to be dedicated to like special colorations or special qualities or attributes that I want to make more of, or maybe like if I do like Bob Whites or Celadon or even Dwarven Quail, these top 3 cages will be specifically for those. So we're almost done with this particular growout pen. It was a lot of work. And we're just got to get a few more hinges, latches, and create another outer door there for the side. And then I can call this thing done, finally, after quite some time, a few months, and quite a bit of money. But it was a good experience. I enjoyed it, building it, even though it did give me some trouble in the very beginning, just because I had no experience building anything before. But once again, like I said, I'm pretty pleased with what I've done here. And we look forward to adding some more quail to this in the next few days. Getting our production numbers up, getting our egg layers up, hopefully. Hopefully we don't have a bunch of male in the new group of brooders, but we will see as they get older. And we'll start sorting and sexing the birds as they reach about 6 to 8, between the 6 and 8 week mark. And we'll start seeing which ones we're going to keep for our egg laying production as well as our meat production. So stay tuned, guys. Very exciting times here. Got a lot of going on at Golden Oaks Quail Hatchery, and we hope you're enjoying the ride with us as much as we are enjoying the ride ourselves. We'll be back. So it is late evening on day 17 of our 3rd hatching cycle. And we have come home to a few more chicks hatching, with one hatching live as we speak. So it looks like we had 3 more hatch while we were away, with the 4th one hatching right now. Hey, welcome to the world, little one. And automatically is being greeted by his fellow brothers and sisters. Will immediately start pecking at him. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. I tell you, no rivalry like sibling rivalry, right? So our 3rd hatching cycle is shaping up to be pretty good. So far we've had no chicks with splayed legs, fingers crossed. And they all look to be happy and healthy thus far. So it is come to the end of day 17. So I'm expecting some more to hatch tomorrow on day 18. And we will keep these guys in here for 48 more hours to see if any more hatch before moving them to the brooder. At which point we will also be graduating our teenagers from the brooder to the nearly completed growout pen. And these guys are just the cutest little things. All right, guys, so I'm going to get settled in for the night, and we shall see you guys tomorrow hopefully we'll wake up to some more chicks hatch. Welcome to the world, little ones. Have a good night. Greetings all. Today is Wednesday, August 19, 2026, and it is day 18 of our third incubation cycle, and we have woken up to quite a number of chicks that have hatched. And we look like we have one that is freshly hatching right now, just coming out of his shell. So that puts the count at approximately 16 so far that have hatched out of 26. It's hard to get an accurate count when they're all grouped up like this. But our hatching cycle is going quite well this round. And looks like we have a bunch of healthy birds here. No sign of splayed legs at the moment. And they have approximately 24 more hours left in the brooder to hatch, at which point I will remove the ones that have hatched and see how many eggs we have that either did not hatch or still need more time or assistance if they started to pip already getting out of the shell. But so far things are going quite well. That's our newest hatchling that just came out of the shell. So he'll be drying off in the next few hours. They're the cutest little fluff balls when they're first born. So we'll check back in again tomorrow, see if any more have hatched, at which point we will remove these guys from the incubator and go into the brooder. We'll also be starting to clear out our brooder today in order to make room for these guys, because it's time for our teenagers to graduate. So here we have our teenagers that are currently in the brooder, and they have been in here approximately 3 weeks, about 3 weeks old now, and all are doing well, including the two that we have that had wry neck, and even our runt has finally grown a little bit. It's usually pretty stationary underneath the heater there. Hey, little guy. Yeah, even the runt of the litter has grown a bit off the 30% game bird feed. So, yeah, I highly advise 30% game bird protein feed, at least for the first few weeks of their lives. Really put some size on them. And all 12 are doing quite well. So they're enjoying a nice breakfast. Once they're done getting fed and watered, we will prepare to move them into the growout pen with the other teenagers. At which point we're gonna, got one try to jump fly out. Be careful. At which point we'll watch them for a little while, make sure they get along okay with their previous companions, the other teens that are about 4 or 5 weeks old now. Make sure there's no aggression when we move them in. If not, we'll have to do some separating. If there is some aggression, we'll just have to remove those aggressive birds to their own separate cage, now that we have the space to do that. But we are doing quite well, and we have 2 in this group that have slightly unique colors. This one here that has a bit of white in his feathering. And just next then we have a lighter colored brown, like a light brown, almost grayish pattern here. So those are the 2 unique birds that we have out of this group. I always like to keep the unique colors for myself for breeding purposes. Yeah, they are doing quite well, getting some breakfast in them. So we're getting ready to move, you guys. It's time for y'all to graduate, make room for the new chicks. So we'll be back when we get ready to move these guys, and then we'll clean and sanitize this brooder to get ready for our new chicks to move in tomorrow. Stay tuned. Good morning, all. It is day 19 of our third incubation cycle, and we have quite a lot of activity this morning. Yes, we have quite a number of hatchlings that have hatched from this third hatching cycle. Hey, stop that. And we have, as you can see, some very rambunctious little chicks. They're anxious to graduate from the incubator and into the brooder. But first, we have to graduate our brooder chicks to the growout pen. So we're going to try to do that early this morning before the heat of the day kicks in. That way the chicks have some time, a few hours, to adjust to this Texas heat that we are experiencing right now. So we are going to get them all moved out so that we can move these little guys into their new brooder. And we're going to see exactly how many chicks have hatched so far, get a good accurate count. And then any eggs that have not hatched, we're going to see if they've pipped. If they have, we'll check to see if they need help hatching. If not, we're going to give them a couple more days in the incubator just to make sure that we are not missing any chicks on this hatching cycle. So let's do that. Let's get our teenagers moved out to the growout pen so that we can get these guys into the brooder and get fed and watered. We'll be right back. Okay, so back here at our homemade brooder, we have some very anxious birds this morning, wanting to get out of here and see the great outdoors for the first time. They have all grown very much. Well, see, got one that flew the coop right away. They have all grown up very much. They're a lot bigger than when they were first born. And they are very good looking. Oh, yeah, okay. Bear with me. Yeah. Yes, as you can see, they are very anxious to get out of here. They see one jump and they all jump. But they are very beautiful colored birds, and they have very nice patterning on them. So let's get a quick count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It looks like all 12 are happy and healthy, as you can see, jumping for joy. And it is time to get them out of here and into the growout pen. So what we're going to do is we're going to individually move each bird. We're going to check their feet before they go out to make sure that there is no hardened poop or poop remaining from the brooder here on their feet. We want to give them a foot bath and just check their overall health. And then I'm going to weigh each bird individually to get an average weight of this group. I'm going to start doing that with each group of hatchlings. I want to get an average weight at 3 weeks, 6 weeks, and 10 weeks, and just see exactly how the birds weigh out at those points. So I'm going to get that process started, and I will be back once I am done to show you guys how we incorporate them into our growout pen and see. I'm going to watch them for a little while and make sure there is no aggression between this group of birds and the cycle 2 hatchlings that we have in there that are a bit older. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. So here we have all 12 birds, all our cycle 2s in the transport cage. And let's go and introduce them to their new growout pen mates. Here we are at our grow-up pen. And they're going on to the bottom level here with the other adolescents that we have from our first cycle hatchlings, which are all doing quite well. We had 3 from that first group that we kept from being sold off, all with unique coloring. Well, 2 with unique color. They have Tibetan colored one, and then my 2 blondes. So let's introduce them to their new pen mates. And I'm gonna do this off camera just so that if they attempt to fly off or anything, I can catch them quickly. I'm gonna need both hands for that. So I'll be right back, and then we will watch them for a little bit just to make sure that there's no aggressive behavior. At which point we will leave them be to get acclimated to the Texas heat. And then we will be in the process of cleaning and sanitizing the brooder so that we can move our cycle 3 hatchlings into it. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we have successfully moved all 12 of our cycle 3 hatchlings into the Growout pen. And right now they are just huddled up where I dropped them off. They're not used to this space just yet, so I got to give them some time to get acclimated. But in the process, I did confirm that my Tibetan there is definitely male, because as soon as I started moving chicks in, he tried to mount and mate with them, and they're too young. So that one is definitely a male. It's confirmed. So far, the other 2 adolescents haven't really reacted to the chicks, but I'm going to watch them here for a little bit and make sure there's no aggression. I might even move that male out temporarily until our chicks and our cycle 2 hatchlings are of proper breeding age. I don't want them stressed at all. So I may do that. I may move him to his own separate pen just for the next few weeks until the other 2 cycle 2s are ready to mate. So we have a 3rd male confirmed with the group to replace one of the ones that got eaten. As you can see, he's practicing mating behavior as we speak. All right, he's not quite old enough to mate just yet. Still has a few more weeks really till he's supposed to be ready. But he's strutting his stuff regardless. So we're gonna watch them for a little bit. I'm gonna watch them, make sure that he's trying to mate there with the, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to move him out temporarily. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna move him, and I'll watch them, the rest of the group, for a little bit, make sure there's no aggression, and then we will clean and sanitize our brooder in order to make room for the new hatchlings. We'll be right back. So it's been a little while, and I haven't seen any aggression from our other 2 cycle 2 chicks towards the new teenagers. And they are slowly starting to spread out a bit. And one has even found one of the nesting boxes already and is getting comfortable in there. Yeah. So he figured a way in. Now he's trying to figure his way back out. There you go. There you go, baby. You made it. All right. So yes, our other 2, what I'm assuming are females from our second group, are not showing any aggression towards my hatchlings here. So we are going to go ahead and prep our brooder box to be to receive the new cycle 3 hatchlings. We're going to clean and sanitize, disinfect it, and get them moved in, fed and watered. And then we'll see just how many eggs we have left over from this hatching cycle, and see if we are going to continue watching them for a few more days and see if they hatch, or if they have pipped already, we're going to see if we can assist those from getting out of the eggs so that we can end up this hatching cycle. So let's do that. Let's disinfect our brooder and get our new hatchlings moved into it. So we are back now with our cleaned and sanitized brooder, and now we can reset it to get ready to receive our newest hatchlings. Now, as with our previous hatchings, I am using a combination of a seedling heat map as well as a heating plate. So we've got the heat mat here. Let's put that in, which is already heated up and ready to go. So using one of these seedling heat maps, a link in the description if you would like to get one for yourself. They're normally used for growing plants, but I found that it's been very helpful in conjunction with the heating plate to provide adequate heat for our chicks while they're in the brooder. Now, before we set the heating plate down, what we're going to do is set down our blue paper towel. We use this for two reasons. Firstly, is more absorbent. These are the shop towels, that automotive shop towels, and they're more absorbent than standard paper towels. And also it'll give our chicks traction and to help prevent any splayed legs. So far, we haven't seen any splayed legs in this group since we've been using the shower mat for extra traction, but just in case, we're gonna lay down some blue paper towel to help give them extra traction as well as absorb the inevitable poop and wetness that'll come from it down here. So usually get about 4 or 5 to cover the bottom. So set that down. Okay, we'll set another row down on top of that. Straighten this out a little bit. And then we'll just use 2 more here in the corner where we keep the water just in case we have any leaks. It'll help absorb any moisture that may fall down here where we keep our water. All right, so that's that. Now, once again, we are using a 30% game bird protein feed to start them out for the first 3 weeks of their life to give them adequate protein for those growing bones. Now we set a saucer here for our waterer to make sure it's level. And then for the water, we are using a vitamin and probiotic infused water blend. And they'll receive this also for the first 3 weeks while they're in the brooder. So set that down. And lastly, we can put our heating plate back in, which has also been pre-warmed and ready to go. All right. And of course, we can't forget the aptly named Google Nest Cam to monitor our chicks while we are away at work. And that is our brooder setup. So now let's get our chicks out of the incubator and moved in so they can get their first meal and first drink. We'll be right back. Okay guys, so as before, we are going to use a cardboard box to put the entire incubator in before we open it, just to make sure that we don't lose any chicks off the table, because they are very fast on their feet when they're newly hatched and very anxious. So we're going to move the entire incubator into the cardboard box first, and then we will remove the chicks from there and put them in the brooder. At which point we'll count up how many we actually have that have hatched so far, see if there's any that have pipped and need assistance getting out. If not, we are going to give them a couple more days to see if they hatch, if maybe they're just late bloomers. And if not, then at that point, we will call our hatching cycle complete and see what our hatch rate is. So let's do that right now. Let's get the water bottles out. And they are quite anxious and ready to get out of that incubator. I'll move this forward for just a moment. And here we have our box. Alrighty. Adjust y'all a bit. Actually, let's put the box on the floor. That way I don't have to worry about the camera falling. Okay. So yeah, we got a box on the floor. We're going to put the brooder in, the incubator in it, and then we will remove the chicks. Okay. So now let's get this baby popped open and count up how many chicks we have. Okay. All right. All right, let's get this popped open. Let's get our chicks out real quick. You can see they're quite rambunctious. Oh. Okay. All right. All right. All right, so we got our chicks off. Oh, the camera's falling. Okay, so we got our chicks out of the incubator and in the box. Oh, it looks like we have one that may be injured. No. I'm not sure what's going on with that one chick. We'll check him out in a moment. Let's get the rest of these guys in the brooder, get their beak dipped, and get them some water. Okay, so let's count up our chicks here. So we have one. Dip the beak.
2. Come on, baby. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. And the last one here, 17. I'm gonna keep a close eye on him because she's not standing up properly. So let's get her some water and some food and see if that helps. If not, we may have one we'll have to call. But so far, we've had 17 successfully hatch out of 26. So we're not gonna count our eggs before they've hatched. So we're gonna give the rest a few more days to see if they hatch as well. Gonna remove the hatched eggs. And count them up. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, so we've ground up some of the food a little bit just so that the birds have easy access to it until they figure out the feeder. Now that they know where the water and the food is, they've also already figured out where the heat is. Even the one that looked like it was a little discombobulated moved off and went under the heating pad. Let me just check on them real quick, make sure it is okay. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know, it's just like maybe he just got a little discombobulated from the move. Who knows? But he appears to be okay right now. So we're going to keep an eye on them, of course, for the next few days and see how they do. But they've already figured out where the water and the food is and also where the heat is to get warm. So let's count up and see how many eggs we have that did not hatch yet. And we're going to give them a couple more days to see if they do. Already got some sibling rivalry already. Yeah, we'll count up the rest of the eggs that did not hatch as of yet. And we'll give them a couple more days to see if they do hatch. If not, we will call this hatching cycle complete and give our final hatch rate for this cycle. We'll be right back. Okay, so we are back, and it looks like we have 9 yet out of this hatching cycle that did not hatch as of yet. They don't appear to have pipped it all just yet, so I'm not worried about shrink wrapping them. So we're going to give them a couple more days to see if they hatch, but if they don't, then I will put our current hatch rate for this batch at 65%, which is pretty good. It's better than half. So we're going to see exactly how many of our final hatching do. If we have any more that hatch, we'll count up our hatch rate again. But so far, with the ones that have hatched, we are at 65% hatch rate for this cycle. So we'll be back in just a couple of days and we'll give the final totals, at which point we will call this hatching cycle done. So we'll see you back in a moment. So on a quick side note, our 2 blondes did end up showing some aggression to our newly added teenagers. So we did move them as well as our male to their own smaller pen. So they got downgraded. But I can't have my birds being aggressive to each other. So they had to move. So since they were bit older, I think they were trying to, establish their pecking order, but I don't need any violent birds attacking each other. So we did move them to the red cage. So this will be their new home, while our new teenagers are getting acclimated to their space, and now they have it all to themselves for the next 3 weeks. So they're doing quite well. We still have our other 6 OG flock in their own separate containers. And I will be upgrading their sandbox today as well. They're getting a bigger sandbox today. All right, so that is all for now, guys. We will see you in just a few more days to see if we have any more of our eggs hatched for this hatching cycle. After that, we will see you next time. Once again, if you are enjoying the content, please hit that like button, subscribe, comment below, tell us what you want to see in the future, and share this with others that may have an interest in quail breeding or quail raising for meat and egg production. And once again, if you are in the Maybach, Texas area, we do have eating and hatching eggs for sale, as well as some live birds. And we are working on our production lines to start producing processed meat. But if you are in the Maybach, Texas area, or will be in the future, email us at goldenoaksquailhatchery@gmail.com or comment below to show interest, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. So we'll be just back with our final tally. On one other note, for our cycle 2 chicks here, their average weight was a little over 3 ounces, most of them. We did have 4 that weighed in just over 4 ounces. They're already working their way up to jumbo status. And then the runt of the litter came in at just 2 ounces, and he's right there in the middle right now. He's the smallest bird of this particular cycle. He came in at 2 ounces. So, yeah, average was about a little over 3. A couple with 4 and 1 with 2 ounces. So, of course, we were going to be sizing our birds at 6, 8, and 10 weeks. And because we are trying to breed for size for meat production as well as egg production. So we'll be back in just a moment. Greetings, you guys, and we're back with an unexpected turn of events. I came out here today to check on our group of quails here to make sure everybody's getting along okay. And when I looked down in their compost bin, I started to see some movement. Now, I don't know how well that'll show up on camera, but what I believe that to be are black fly larvae. And if that is the case, that will be another potential protein source for our quail. And an unexpected
item that we can add to our growing worm company. So, man, I had not intended necessarily to start another farm, but I might be doing just that with these black soldier fly larvae. If they are, in fact, black soldier fly larvae, maybe you guys can tell me. Comment below. But yeah, if that's the case, we got extra protein for our quails. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, August 21st, 2026, and it is day 20 of our third incubation cycle. And guess what? We have another chick. Yeah, this was one of the late bloomers, one of the 9 that have yet to hatch. So that increases our hatch rate. Now, if I had ended the hatch yesterday as I normally do, I would have missed this guy, but I decided to give them a few more days and pleasantly surprised to see this guy here this morning. So once again, we are going to start another 72-hour clock to see if any more of these 9 hatch. At what point we will move this one into the brooder with their brothers and sisters and update our hatch rate at that time. So yeah, I'm so glad that I decided to extend the hatching cycle by a couple of days, because otherwise I would have discarded a viable chick. All right, so we'll see how things go from here on out. Stay tuned. Greetings, everyone. Today is Wednesday, August 2026, and here are our cycle 3 hatchlings going up very, very fast, starting to get their first feathers. Getting some breakfast in them. Now, we decided to end our third incubation cycle yesterday on the 25th. Since we last saw you guys, we did have 2 more chicks that hatched, bringing our total hatch to 19 out of 26, which gives us a 73% hatch rate for this cycle, which is excellent. Now, unfortunately, those last 2 chicks that were late bloomers were born deformed or with weakness. So we did have to humanely cull them, but that is not the incubator's fault. The incubator did its job and did successfully hatch the eggs. So having to cull those 2 chicks does not affect our hatch rate. So our final hatch rate for this incubation cycle is 73%. We have 17 remaining healthy, active chicks, as you can see. And they will spend the next 2 weeks or giveabouts in the brooder here until they are ready to graduate to the growout pen. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of raising a Coturnix Quail chicks. I hope you're enjoying your time here with us at Golden Oaks Quail Hatchery. Please remember to hit that like button, subscribe, comment below, tell us if you're enjoying the content and what you'd like to see in the future, and reach out to us with any questions. We love to hear from you guys. So until next time, this is Big Terry with Golden Oaks Quail Hatchery, signing off.